interesting, so why not write them down and kind of go over them. Since So yeah, so with that being said, I will probably go back to the fact videos if any of you guys are more interested in that. I am working on one to maybe be available by the end of this week or by the middle of next week. So be aware of that video if you want to turn on the bell icon or like the notifications. That would be very, very appreciative. But I also want to say thank you to the new subscribers that we have. Welcome. And I know I say that every video, but I'm gonna probably continue saying that because I want everybody to feel welcomed. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy this video. I really appreciate everything. I appreciate the support, the likes. If you guys continue, liking my videos, subscribing, all that stuff, it really means a lot to me. So thank you so much. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So, I hope this isn't too loud, but out of all those quotes, probably I got like 3 of them that are like the best, but I'm probably going to start out with one that I like for the very beginning, and then the other one that I like, I'll probably leave it for the end. And yeah, so the first one says, the reason most people never reach their goals is that they don't define them or even seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell you where they're going, what they plan to do, and who will share the adventure with them. I'll repeat all these facts twice before I move on to the next one. So, the reason most people reach their goals is that they don't define them or even seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell you where they're going, what they plan to do, and who will share their adventure with them. That'll be the first one, and I'll leave my second favorite. No, actually, I think my favorite I'll leave for last. So if you make it to the end of this video, hopefully you like the one that I love. Okay, so let's start it. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. Next one says, sometimes later becomes never. Do it now. Sometimes later becomes never. Do it now. And I feel that actually because that's something that I always do. I'm very good at procrastinating. I'll say I'll do something and I never do. And especially like with this channel, I remember when even starting, I would make videos and then I would be like, no, that's not good enough, and I would just delete them. And it took so much for me to kind of like be like, okay, I want to actually do this, like I was always inspired, but I would always be like, you know what, tomorrow I'll get a better mic, tomorrow I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that, and it's like, when I'm actually doing it, I really enjoy it, but when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'll just do that later, so do it now. Well, if you're in bed, do it early morning. Just tell yourself to do it now as soon as you get out of bed. So, the next one says, don't give up on something you really want. Don't give up on something you really want. The next fact says, life said, you're going to be happy. yourself as a success or successful. Yes, 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 yes. Always bid on yourself, because obviously you have to be confident, you have to love what you do, and you have to believe in yourself to be able to achieve what you want. A lot of people want something, but they don't believe in themselves, and that's not the right mindset. Like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. You should not be afraid to make those mistakes. Becoming strong doesn't start at the gym, it starts in your head. Becoming strong doesn't start at the gym, it starts in your head. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Always do your research. Obviously, whatever you do, always do your research. Even if you don't think you need it, sometimes you might. So always be knowledgeable of what you want to do, or things similar to that, just in case if they ever pop up. You can never know too much. It's always about learning new things. Everything you've wanted is on the other side of fear. Everything you've wanted is on the other side of fear. Again, don't be afraid to do new things, to learn. If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. That I guess is for every average person. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, and not everybody's gonna be rich and famous, but you don't need that. If you want to impact the people around you, you can still be yourself, and you can still impact them, even if it's in a smaller way. Impact is impact. You might change someone's life just by being yourself, and you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be famous, but to them, you'll mean a lot, and they'll always remember you for that. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positivity, your life will change. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positivity, your life will change. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. What you plant now can be harvested later. What you plant now can be harvested later. Believing you can, and you're already halfway there. Believing you can, and you're already halfway there. An inch of movement will bring you closer to your goals than a mile of intentions. An inch of movement will bring you closer to your goals than a mile of intentions. God, like I said earlier, do it now. We'll always be like tomorrow, or similar to me, if I buy like the computer, the microphone, the setup, and then I'm like tomorrow. I have everything. I might as well start it now. So even if I'm able to record something and just save it, rather than sit there thinking, you know what, today I'll play video games, tomorrow I'll record it. It means more to be able to actually do it. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was ending, he turned into a butterfly. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was ending, he turned into a butterfly. Whenever you see a successful person, you only see the public glories, never the private sacrifices. Whenever you see a successful person, you only see the public glories, never the private sacrifices. nice. But there's a lot of people out there that they grew up with nothing, they grew up poor, and their only motivation was that they didn't want to struggle anymore. So they now, they swim in this money, and they're able to buy nice stuff, and people envy them. But like I said, some of them weren't born into the richness. They had to work really hard for their stuff. And you don't see that. You don't see the late nights. You don't see the struggles, the bad stuff they had to go to get that money, to get that house, to get everything that they have. You create your own opportunities. You create your own opportunities. And that one kind of goes back to the other. There was a quote that said, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." So the more you work and the more experience you put into whatever you want to have or want to get, or whatever career you want, you'll have more opportunities. The more qualified you are. Next one says, when you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch up. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch up. Nothing in the world is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Nothing in the world is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. And I've seen that a lot. People that are poor or are in the streets, and they have really good talent, but they just had they made the wrong decisions, or they were born into a very bad place, or they just made mistakes. And sometimes those people just need a little bit of guidance to be better. All progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. All progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. It is not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. It is not what you look at that matters, it is what you see. And I wrote this one just because I'm into cars, and a lot of people, there's a lot of people that don't understand that, but I think cars are like a piece of art. Some people, there's so many ways that you can make them unique, and you can work on them. But I've seen some people take like very old cars, or like regular sedans and stuff like that, and they turn them into like these crazy one-of-a-kind cars. And I think that matches really good with this quote. It is not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. Some people see a rusted body that, is worth $1,000, and then some people see a body that they can work on, and they can improve, and they can make it into this one piece of art. And, that's what I love so much about the car community. One of the things I love about the car community. There is no traffic jam along the extra mile. There is no traffic jam along the extra mile. Yes, sir. Some people, mostly all people, take the same route. The route that is the safest. And sometimes that route is congested with so many other people that have that dream, that want to be somebody. When you take that extra mile, there's less people, even though it's an extra mile, even though it's harder. Sometimes it makes you more qualified, it gives you more experience. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. You must expect great things from yourself before you can do them. You must expect great things from yourself before you can do them. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Motivation is what gets you started, and habit is what successful, remember that you only have one life. So even while you're doing that, try to have fun and try to make those memories that you will never regret. Because that's what life's about. Yes, it's about being wanting to be successful and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't waste your whole life chasing one thing and not actually living your life. I think living your life is way more important at the end of the day. Because what's the point of being old and rich when, by that time, it's almost your time to go. And then you'll look back and say, man, I wish I was younger and I would have done this and that. Live your life. Be happy. And the last one is what I think is probably the best one because it wraps up everything together. And this one says, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you weren't afraid? And I want you to think about that. Not only just right now, but tomorrow and the day after that. I want you to really, really think about that. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Would you be less careful? Would you take more risks? What would you do with your life? What would be different about your life? What would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you weren't afraid? If I wasn't afraid, I think I would be in a completely different place right now with things like work, things that I've tried and I've kind of I went halfway and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. I feel like if I wasn't afraid, I would have done more and been more successful in my time. And I mean, I'm only 21, but there's so many other things, it's like, that I wanted to do. I've just been afraid to do them. And I feel like when I was younger, I always had bigger dreams, and getting older, I kind of realized that they're harder to accomplish. But I feel like I shouldn't settle down for just being someone else. I should always follow my childlike mentality, because sometimes those dreams of being rich or being financially stable and having a really nice house, even if I'm not able to reach that, if I'm able to reach somewhere where I have enough money to be happy with myself and sustain my family, and I don't have to have a mansion, but if I can have like a really nice house and just be happy with myself and the people around me, I think that's better than being rich and all that. And even as a kid, I've always been like, man, what if I was a YouTuber? And I was always afraid, like, what if I'm not good enough, or what, there's why, I was always afraid of judgment, like, what if people think, bad of me and this and that. And I think it took 3 years for me to realize that, I shouldn't care what other people think. And I mean, it took me 3 years to realize that, and even 6 years later, I'm still sometimes worried about those problems. But slowly, day after day, I try to get over them, and I look at the bigger picture, and I realize I shouldn't be afraid. Even though sometimes I am, I shouldn't. But I don't know. I think I'm going off on a rant. But anyways, I think I'll let you guys go to sleep. It's currently really late for me, and again, I appreciate you guys for coming and watching these videos. I know I always say that, but I really, really do. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you guys have been doing when it comes to supporting, subscribing. I really appreciate all that. Like I said, I dropped that other guys want to watch it. It didn't get as many views as I thought it would, but I mean, you know, if you guys don't mind,